Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's Purple Sector F1 Division 1 race. A quick look at the calendar for today. We're going to be racing at the very fun and famous Shanghai International Circuit, or the Chinese GP. As you guys can see here, here's a current calendar for our 13th season here at PSF1. Next week, we're going to be racing in the streets of Monaco, so I hope you guys are excited for that. There's a quite a big chance of rain on that one, which always makes Monaco a little exciting. I don't anticipate anything today in China, but no doubt it is one of the most interesting circuits in the F1 calendar. One of my personal favorites, though not one I am good at, unfortunately. It is quite a complicated circuit, and I'll get to the why in a second. After Monaco, though, we will be having a break before we finish off November in Vegas and go into a three little race series there with Vegas, Coda, and then Jeddah, which will be an enjoyable little thing before Christmas, before starting the new year in Belgium. So I hope you guys have been enjoying the season so far. I know I have. We've had some phenomenal racing this year. Mexico and Canada are two particularly great races that I've gotten the privilege to commentate, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it just as much as I have as viewers. But moving on here to the track stats today, as previously mentioned, we're racing at Shanghai over the Chinese Grand Prix. As you guys can see, it is a very interesting looking track here. Little intense, to be quite honest with you. I struggled for a very long time with turns 1, 2, 3, and 4, the snail complex there, and once you guys see it on track, you'll understand why. But to give you guys some general information here about the Shanghai circuit, it is located in the Jiading district and was first introduced into the calendar for Formula One in 2004, so just a year after I was born. It has a 5.5 meter elevation change, which primarily happens at the very start of the race here, which once again we'll be seeing in the qualifying round that is going to be going up here shortly. The overall circuit length is 5.5 kilometers or 3.4 miles. It has 16 turns in total. 7 of them are left-handers, 9 of them are right-handers, and once again, another circuit designed by Herman Tilke. At this point, he's designed over half of the F1 calendar as far as I'm aware as a commentator here. But to go through to give you guys a little more information, excuse me, the Sector 3 straight there that you guys can see in between turn 13 and 14 is the third longest straight in the F1 calendar. It is 1.3-ish kilometers long, which Jeddah is 1.4 kilometers long. That's the entire back straight area. And then Baku, which we have raced previously here in Purple Sector F1 as well, kind of recently, is 2.2 kilometers long. So a fairly long straight, a lot of overtaking opportunities here for a lot of our drivers, so it's going to be quite exciting watching them go through. So the track characteristics I'll go over super quickly with you guys is obviously, as I had previously mentioned, the turn 1 through 4, 270-degree tight turn. It is a very technical little portion. You might think it's just a turn, but as you get further along, it gets tighter and tighter. So it makes it very interesting for possible overtaking opportunities and is definitely going to be the major deciding factor, I feel like, when it comes to qualifying times and overtaking opportunities, just because of how funky it is. It's undoubtedly going to be a phenomenal lap one situation we're going to be watching. So the Shanghai circuit was also designed off the Shang symbol in Chinese literature, which stands for rise or ascend. So a nice little homage there to, once again, Chinese lettering. I don't know the technical term for that. You'll have to excuse me. It's pretty cool though to have such a personal track as a Chinese citizen. I'd be pretty happy with a track like this, which is ironic because Las Vegas looks like a pig as I live in the U.S., but that's a separate argument. When it comes to race winners here in real life, we obviously had Oscar Piastri win first place this year, followed by Norris and then Russell to finish out the podium. I remember it being quite an interesting race with a little bit of rear ending from Stroll into Lawson, which was pretty unfortunate for Lawson there. Last year, Max Verstappen won. follow with Lewis Hamilton having the most victories, 6 victories. I bring that up only because Lewis Hamilton fills out the majority of the last decade wins here. Once again, this track, or not once again, but this track actually wasn't raced for a few years. It was recently reintroduced into the calendar. It's a phenomenal track. I'm quite happy that it's back in the calendar, as I hope you guys are as well. But after 2024, we have a little bit of a jump back to 2019, where Lewis Hamilton won, followed by Daniel Ricciardo, and then 2016, Nico Rosberg. Anytime I jump a few years, just assume Hamilton won. And then in 2013, Fernando Alonso took it in the Ferrari, one of his final drives with Ferrari. A pretty nice drive. I've seen a few clips of highlights in it, and I wish we got to see that this year in the Aston Martin. But until they make that a good car, I just don't think that'll be the case. In 2012, Nico Rosberg won it, and then in 2010, Jenson Button won this track. So again, a fair amount of history again with Lewis Hamilton having 6 wins here. He's quite comfortable. In fact, he's quoted saying that this track rewards patience. So we'll have to see if any of our drivers here today take that quote to heart here and drive patiently. There's what seems to be a lot of overtaking opportunities. I'll go through that in a little bit, but believe it or not, it's quite difficult to get the jump on somebody if it's not at the end of turn 14 or going into turn 1 through 4. But moving on here, let's go through the turns, starting with turn 1, 2, 3, and 4. That will be referred to as the snail complex. Turns 5 through 6 will be referred to as the first rhythm, and the reason for that, I guess, name is turns 5 through 11 are pretty rhythmic. There's a lot of swinging the car, using car momentum to make sure you're not off of track. If you're not on the racing line, it's really non-ideal. This track is very wide, though. It's one of the widest tracks in the F1 calendar, so it does let cars get, pretty comfortably side by side. But if you're not on the racing line, it's going to be very uncomfortable despite all the actual on-track room you may have. So we'll have to see how drivers handle that. Moving on past turn 6, though, we have the S's, which of course will just be turns 7 and 8 as they resemble an S. And then I've dubbed this turns 9 and 10 the rectangle. I feel like it kind of looks like a rectangle. That's why it's in quotations, though. It will be called the rectangle by myself here today. Turns 11 and 12 don't have a name, but it's pretty chicaney. I may just refer to that as a chicane. Moving on to turn 13, the parabolic curve, which then leads into our DRS section 1 and the straight here. So once again, I mentioned it earlier, we're going to be seeing a lot of overtaking opportunities here. Undoubtedly, the hairpin, which is turn 14 now, is again very wide. You guys will get to see that here in qualifying shortly, and allows for some pretty deep dives and some pretty cool switchbacks possibly. Turn 15 and 16 here, which will finalize us out, will be the pit curve kind of turns. Not turn 15, excuse me, but turn 16 will be referred to as the pit curve. The reason for that is if you go straight there instead of taking that awkward left, you go straight into the pit lane. So that is the reason for that name. Once again, you guys will get to see that in qualifying. And after you go past turn 16, you will hit our second DRS detection zone, which crosses the finish line right there. Another fairly long straight, obviously not as long as the Sector 3 straight at the bottom of your screen at the moment, but nonetheless a fairly long one. And then obviously going back into turn 1, which we'll have to see if we see any type of dives. I have no doubt that we will see dives. But, oh, excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. Uh, Something on my end here kind of got messed up a little bit. But moving on here. Some famous moments some of you may remember is Schumacher's final F1 victory in 2006 was done here in the wet, actually. So pretty cool if you ask me. I'd be pretty happy if I was Michael Schumacher. Such an interesting track, and winning in it is undoubtedly a great thing to feel. Now, while we're waiting here for our drivers to load into qualifying, I do want to jump back to this image for a quick second to show you guys the constructors' standings for the last 4 races that we've had. Ferrari currently has the lead after not having any points in Mexico. I've brought that up, I think, twice already, but that's just such an astounding fact. Ferrari has managed to really bring it back. They've had two 1-2 podium position finishes, I believe, so far this season, which is just incredible. Phenomenal drive from the Ferrari drivers. Mercedes, which originally was the favorite to win the constructors, is now in second place, followed by VCarb, and then obviously Alpine, Red Bull, and then the rest of the teams will fill us out here. Moving into to the driver's standing, we're going to be looking at the top 13 here, just for a quick moment, as these guys are well, I guess the best of the rest is what I'll call them. Mudev, currently in the Mercedes, leads us by 3 points, followed by MSA Samad in the V-Carb, Rebel, Mac, and then I do want to point out number 5 there, or number 30, position 5 in the Drivers' Championship, Reimer in the Ferrari, who missed 2 races and already has 2 podiums from the 2 races he has raced in. So we'll have to keep our eyes out here, but at the moment, Mudev does have quite a comfortable lead and is one of the more strategically minded drivers of our grid here. MSA Samad is one of the faster ones as well. We do have a very, very strong lineup across the board here. I have zero doubt in my mind that we're going to be seeing a lot of upsets here in the Driver Championship as we move on into the season. Goatley here in position 6 is our reserve driver. The last 2 races, that being Canada and Miami, which is what the U.S. flag there stands for. Second place in the Ferrari, even as a reserve driver. Goatley is able to race for any team he wants or that needs a driver, better said. And Ferrari got incredibly lucky getting Goatley twice in a row. I mean, 225-point gains immediately in the constructors is phenomenal. Prost in position 7. William, another reserve driver. We've seen a lot of on-track action with this gentleman here. Undoubtedly, possibly we'll be seeing more today. We'll be driving the Aston Martin here. Not shown there, but just for the Chinese GP, we'll be driving the Aston Martin. 7 in the Alpine, unfortunately, will not be racing anymore for the rest of the season due to circumstances. We wish 7 the best in his future, but one of the better drivers we had on the grid, very fun to watch him race. I'm very sad he won't be joining us anymore. Despy and the Red Bull here. The Red Bull team has had a phenomenal season so far. Very, very fun season to watch as we see Mac up there in the 4th driver position. You guys will get to see their action on track here today, and once again, quite a fun time. Focoena in the Haas. We see a Haas almost in the top 10. I wish that was real life. I don't know. After Behrman's performance today, they might be in the top. He might be top 10. I'll have to see. Finishing P6, I think, in Brazil was a phenomenal effort by him. And then rounding us out, here's Money, the director of motorsport, actually here. Unfortunately, has had 2 DNFs so far, but he said that he feels pretty confident for China. He's trying to find rhythm with the car, and he's hoping that that changes here today. Looking at the rest of our driver standings here, we have a fair amount of drivers left over, 2 more Ferrari drivers at the top, and I won't be going through this entire list here, but if you see any drivers you recognize, please wish them the best of luck in the chat here. They love getting support from you guys. They definitely feel the pressure when they race, and they want to do the best they can. But with that out of the way, we are now loading into China. We will be having 13 drivers joining us here today. I did get to interview some of these drivers while we're waiting for some of these guys to jump out of the pit. I do want to go through that really quickly. I did get media privileges here in Purple Sector F1. I get to ask these guys whatever questions I want to ask to try to get as much information as possible. If you guys will give me a quick second. So I did get to talk to the Williams team a little bit earlier today as we're actually watching the McLaren of No Cap now coming out of the pit lane. Let's jump to that gentleman here. That wasn't No Cap. No, excuse me, that was Money. No Cap is the other driver on that team. I did say that out of habit.
I'd like to report that both sessions are dry.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and just super quickly, that was Rebel, who will be joining me in the commentary booth here today. He's actually going to be one of the drivers on track. He's going to be our I guess, on the ground eyes. Thank you very much, Rebel, for joining me today and giving me that weather update.
Yeah, I'm here. I am ready to race.
First time chatter, Carl the Chased Goat Race preview. Thank you very much. I do try my best. I'll try to make it a little better for the future. Rebel, how are you feeling though? I mean, you said you were ready to race, but are you feeling confident for the Chinese track? It's a pretty interesting one.
Um, I'm confident that I will do okay. I don't have enough data, wasn't able to get enough practice in to really feel it.
Fair enough. I'm sure you'll do good. I mean, you're I think third in the championship right now, so you have the skill. Uh,
All the
undoubtedly.
points I have lost have been on me and me alone.
Well, here you go. You have Shanghai to make it up here. As the track is shaped, you got to rise and ascend above it. So I believe in you here. Super quickly though, we're watching money now coming up on the turn 14 of the hairpin. I will be talking you guys through the track as we're watching him hit a qualifying lap here, hitting turn 14. Fairly wide track as you guys can see. Turn 15 was right there. Coming up into turn 16, which is the pit curve. As you can see, there's the pit lane right there. It's a pretty interesting turn right there. Odd angle. We're now watching him hit the starting line straight here, and I believe starting his hot lap. Let me throw out some telemetry data and additional details here. This is turn 1, 2, now hitting 3 here. The snail complex. As you guys saw right there, it's a pretty interesting portion of the track. Very uncomfortable for the drivers to be quiet, or well, at least I think it's uncomfortable for the drivers. Money P5 incoming. I'll tell him that. I think he. Excuse me, my microphone might be spiking a little bit there. I'll tell him that though. That is I'm sure he'd love to see the support there. Coming up into turn 8 now. The S's here. As you guys can see, a little bit rhythmic here. Hitting now the rectangle, turn 9. Hitting turn 10. Coming up on 11 now. A little bit of a straight here. Drivers may get an opportunity to pass on the chicane here now. Turn 11. Little chicane, turn 12. Now coming up onto the parabolic curve, turn 13. And now sliding straight into the, well, straight, I guess, of sector 3 here. As you guys can see, I had mentioned it earlier, it is an incredibly wide track here. So a lot of overtaking. We can see, I think, up to 4 cars go wide on the straight. Whether that will actually happen is a completely different story, but, never doubt anything. We just saw Money hit turn 14 there as UF1 William, the Aston Martin, gets the fastest lap of today. Money hitting turn 16 here. And crossing the finish line, let's see where he ended up. Third place here as Prosk now sets the fastest time, currently provisionary. Never mind, Rebel here. Rebel, congratulations on that quick lap there. 132.263. How did you feel here as your first lap coming out?
I was actually pretty hooked up. I had more fuel in the car, so I'll get about a tenth from that, provided I can hit the track as well as I did. But that might be it. That might be the lap.
You don't think you'll go any faster than that?
There's one or two spots that I definitely can go faster in, but I think the other spots that I hit may go worse because it shouldn't have hung where it did. I made some mistakes, but the car hung on for me.
Nice. Well, setup is a pretty big aspect here of this track. Are you going to be relying more on lower downforce for Sector 1 and 2, or are you gunning for straight line speed in Sector 3?
I'm running probably a lower downforce setup than most around here. I
Interesting.
mean,
We'll have to
I don't
see.
know if everybody's left the pit lane yet. I could probably say, yep, everybody's circulating. So I'm running low 20s.
Low 20s. Okay, we'll have to see how that affects it. I mean, as mentioned, you currently have pole position here at the moment. Mudev is currently starting their fast lap, coming out of turn 4, hitting turn 5, about to hit 6 here in a second. But we'll have to see how the different setups affect the drivers' decisions here. This track has an incredible amount of degradation. Yeah, I anticipate at least a two-stop unless some of these drivers are tire whisperers. I know some of them are. Rebel, I believe you're one of those tire whisperers. Are you planning on doing a one or two-stop, if you don't mind me asking?
I might keep that information to myself.
A reasonable call. I shot my shot just to see if you'd answer, but I totally understand. As the commentator and as somebody who does enjoy this track, I normally do a two-stop myself. I'm not quite a tire whisperer. It's a very difficult track to keep your tires alive with how rhythmic Sector 1 and 2 can get. It's a little tough relying on just downforce. A lot of mechanical grip is involved with these cars, so But that might just be me. I don't run a super strong downforce setup in China. I do like my straight line speed, but I believe I've only ever gotten as high as P6 here, I believe. As Mudev comes across, turn 16, a little bit of a deep dive there. We heard him lock up a second. We'll have to see where he finishes in P5 here for Mudev, a 33.636. We'll have to see if that changes. We do have 11 minutes remaining. The qualifying session here at PSF1 takes 18 minutes. These drivers have quite a bit of time here to try to set as fast of a lap as they can. As we now jump here to JM624, who just started their quali lap here, going through turn 3 at the moment of the Snail Complex. While we're watching JM624 and the V-Carb drive around here, I do want to go through some questions I got to ask some of the other teams. I did ask Williams, who's currently P7 in the constructors, how they felt about their competitors in Red Bull and Alpine, seeing as these three teams right now are pretty close to each other point-wise in the constructors championship. If they're thinking that maybe this will be a track for them, and the team principal responded to me saying that they feel pretty good. As we see
Oh,
JM624
Jay
spin out
spun.
here, yes, a little bit of a spin there, hit the back curve, I believe, of turn 9, and just lost the rear there. That might be implying that JM is running a bit of a high or a low downforce setup. Excuse me. I just got
It's
water handy.
surprising to me because I've raced with Jay, I think, on and off since 2023, and he was frequently one of the top two in leagues past.
JM
But
is
I don't think he played any of 24. I don't think he liked the grip model that they had in that game. So I think he's back now. But
the grip model was a little tough. It felt like you were on ice the whole time. I didn't enjoy it myself much either. I actually, the reason I switched to ACC was because of the F124 grip. I enjoy 25 a lot more, but I'm a commentator now. I don't race, so I'm
well,
retired.
see, 24 was hard, way too much Mario Kart grip. Like it was,
Yes.
you were literally hitting the corners. Like drivers were setting their wheel rotation degrees to like 200 just to throw the car into the corners. You didn't really get punished for it for tire wear. So it just felt kind of gross.
I agree 100%. I didn't enjoy it at all. It was and the like you mentioned, the tire wear I think was the biggest aspect for me. I feel like tire wear is obviously a pretty big strategic component, and when your soft tires never degrade, it's a little boring.
Yeah, I think 22, 23 had some 23 had some tire wear, but it was always medium hard. I can't remember a race that I never just did actually mostly hard soft. It's pretty much that whole game. But I think with 25 they got us a good balance between 23 and 24. Where 23 was a little bit too icy, 24 was like Mario Kart, and this one's like it feels like you can attack the corners, but you get punished by with the hardcore insane temperatures on your tires.
Hmm. So a little bit more tire regulation, at least compared to F124, which is always appreciated. But as we're watching here, IUF1 William uh, starting their qualifying lap, as we see he's actually behind Rebel at the moment. Here at going into turn 4 now. But one major
Yeah, that's
aspect.
Navik.
Oh, that's Navic. Oh, I forgot that.
Yep. He's filling in as a reserve driver in the Alpine seat.
I
I am in the pit. I'm going to save a set of softs.
Let's see, forgive me, I did miss that. I was wondering who the other Alpine driver was. I now see that he's in currently 10th position at the moment. But one major aspect IUF1 William has to deal with, especially now that he's behind the Alpine, is as Prosk actually sets a 32.191, setting provisional pole here at the moment. Rebel's going to have to respond here. We'll have to see if anybody else is able to sneak up in there. Mudev, MSA Samad, who has not yet set a time, and of course JM624 has not set a time. We'll have to see what changes here in the remaining 7 minutes of qualifying. But as I was saying about William here in the Aston Martin, a big aspect that a lot of these drivers have to deal with is drag and wind, or I guess aerodynamics. So right now we're actually watching William utilizing the toe that Mavic is giving him on this back straight. That's going to give the Aston Martin a lot more speed because he has to deal with less wind resistance. But as we're coming into turn 14 now here, Navic, or not Navic, excuse me, Williams going to have to deal with an awkward amount of wind, which is called dirty air. And it kind of messes up with the downforce for the very same reason that there's less air resistance, meaning that the car isn't able to use aerodynamic friction, I guess, as much as they normally would, relying more on their tires, wearing their tires out even more, and ultimately kind of messing up possible braking points. So we may be seeing some of that deep dive action, as I forgot to mention that Williams set the fourth fastest lap now with 33.171. But as I was saying, it messes with a lot of breaking points for a lot of these drivers. We'll have to see if maybe somebody overshoots because they're trying to go for a very late braking maneuver while behind another car. Rebel, how do you feel about the dirty air and in general, I guess the towing mechanics in F125? I've enjoyed it a lot. I feel like it's a pretty big aspect. And before you answer that, MSA Samad sets a 31.991, breaking into the minute 31 marker here. We'll have to see if anybody else is able to break in. Rebel, I've noticed you've been in the pit lane as well. I'll follow that up with you in a second. But going back to the air aspect, how do you feel about the dirty air and the towing in this game?
I don't really pay attention to it, other than the turn in is where I notice it. Everywhere else, I don't really notice it.
Interesting. Is that just an experience thing? Would you say you said you've at least done two of the games? How long have you sim raced for?
Uh, on a wheel, 21,
21
I think.
years?
No, no, sorry, but 2021.
Oh, since 2021. I was about to say,
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
No, I've done a lot of racing games since though, probably 20 years or so. But
Okay. Still
yeah,
though.
I think I notice it there, but for me, I have my wheel set up in a way that I feel the traction. So the only time I notice the dirty air is when I'm turning in and I can feel it in my wheel.
Hmm,
Other
interesting.
than that, I don't really pay attention to how fast I'm going on a straight. And just like if I'm approaching this person, I'm not really concerned about how fast. It's just where am I going at the end of the straight here to get past him.
Fair enough. Interesting. So we have quite a veteran here of sim racing, 20 years, and pretty gnarly sim racing setup. I know my wheel doesn't do that. I race with a Thrustmaster 248, I believe. Pretty nice wheel. I don't know if I'll be upgrading anytime soon, as that one's doing just enough for me here. As we're watching Dirty Phoenix now coming up onto the Sector 3 straight here at the moment. Fair amount of speed. We'll have to see if Phoenix is able to move up as they actually get pushed down now once more by Carrot G here, and they back out of their flying lap here as they let one of the cars go by. We'll be jumping here to another car. Let's see. We haven't been in the Ferrari yet. Let's watch the Ferrari here for a little bit as they're coming up onto turn 11 here. But going back a little bit back to the Williams question, I was curious if the Williams team felt good on the Chinese GP, and one of the drivers actually told me that this is a preferred track for them. So they actually practice more than they normally would to really try to maximize out their advantage with their, I guess, apparent confidence on this track. And that driver is actually Prosk, who's currently in second position at the moment here, living up to what he had told me in the media questioning room. So we'll have to see how Prosk feels here. I have to ask you, Rubbo, I've noticed you've been in the pit lane this whole time. Are you planning on coming out, or do you really think you can't go faster than that time?
No, I'm coming out now. I'm just saving a set of softs for the
Okay,
race.
understood. Just curious. Set us off. So we'll have to see what you do with that there. But moving on to some other questions I asked.
It's more of a contingency than a plan. So if we get a late safety car, it's nice to have a fresh set.
Fair enough. I'd be surprised if we saw any safety cars. Excuse me, any safety cars or even virtuals. I feel like this track isn't too intense, but I guess any of these guys can totally just ram into each other. So we'll have to see what happens there.
And
Uh,
turn one is where we'll see the highest chance, and then it decreases dramatically lap after lap from there.
in that case, we're probably going to be seeing a little love tapping there in the snail complex. So maybe you'll get at least a virtual immediately off the start of the race if that's something you're anticipating. But another media question. Going to the Red Bulls, I had asked the team principal how they feel for China and if they expect a straight shootout here against other competitors or if they're going to be relying on virtual safety cars and a possible safety car. And the team principal actually told me that he hasn't been too involved, at least as of the last race, and that his drivers are smart shooters. They didn't, this is in quotations now, they didn't need me or any team to catch great finishes last season. Red Bull stock on the rise. So invest now on the Red Bull team, he says. With one of the drivers, Despy, I'd asked them a different question. I asked the drivers of the Red Bull team how they felt about China, if they think that the unnatural rhythmic nature of the track will be a major aspect for them. And they said that they plan on just trying to keep it as clean as possible here, with Despy in the Red Bull saying, very tricky first sector. For me, this race is all about surviving and trying to take advantage of the mistakes of others. So we'll have to see if Despy's able to keep his wheels all on track, keeping it clean as Reimer, our first retirement of the session here. Not much time left, I guess. Not really much of a point to just sit in the pit lane. But Reimer retires in fifth place. Currently, one of the Ferraris charging up the leaderboard for the Drivers' Championship here. He has gotten a third place and a first place podium in the last two races. Somebody to watch here, starting from fifth place, though. As we actually see, give me a quick second, guys. I'm going to have to hide this. Sorry, quick technical on my end here. And, sorry about that. I'm back here at the moment. Who are we watching that just spun out there? Navic in the Alpine spun out there in the Parabolica curve of turn 13. A little unfortunate there. It is his outlap, but that may have affected his tires pretty badly. And unfortunately, Navic has missed the ability to get a faster qualifying time here. Let's jump over to Prosk right now, as he's the closest competitor to MSA Samad. Coming out into turn 14, we saw a little bit of a rear end wiggle there from Prosk and Williams. But so far, so good. It has not slowed down at all. Coming up
I did
onto turn
not
six.
improve.
You did not improve, no. Rebel stays the same, a 132.194. Currently in third place. We'll have to see if anybody else is able to respond. Mudev Mac is still on track. William moves up into eighth position, a 33.109, not able to break into the 32-minute marker. And that's about it. Other than Mac and Mudev, Prosk, and MSA Samad, there's no other drivers here on track. It is going to be a fight for the top five here at the moment. Let's see if anybody's able to pass Reimer. I guess that would only be Mac, really. Prosk and Mudev may be able to respond here to MSA Samad, as we're now watching Prosk turn around or turn through the parabolic curve, coming up into the back straight, hitting the DRS there. A quick thing on DRS that reduces.
On Prosk is up by 2/10 right now. That's gonna kill it.
Oh, deep dive into the hairpin from Parask there.
That
Little
still says two
unfortunate.
tenths.
Still says 2/10. I don't see that. It is on his wheel at the moment and crosses the finish line. Prosk
P2.
P2. Congratulations to Prosk. Mudev, I believe, got pushed down to P3. Great
I got pushed
qualifying
down to
session.
P4.
You got pushed down to P4.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, that's not great.
As we're watching here, our qualifying times, MSA Samad in the V Carb, a 139 or 31, not 39.991, our only minute 31 time here. Prosk in the Williams, Munev in the Mercedes in third, Rebel in the Alpine in fourth, Reimer in the Ferrari in fifth, JM64 in the other V Carb in sixth place, Mac in seventh place in the Red Bull, TRD Phoenix in the Mercedes, eighth place, UF1 William, Aston Martin in ninth place, Carrot G Williams in 10th, Money in the McLaren in 11th, GDB 0791 in the Aston Martin 12th, and Navic, Rebels teammate here for today in the Alpine in 13th here. I'm noticing that the chat is going off here a little bit. Ahab, welcome. A little unfortunate that we didn't see Despy here. I thought he was on track, but I just realized he is not, or they are not, excuse me. But let's see. Yes, I do agree. Ferrari does feel a little strong this season. We'll have to see, though. We do have to acknowledge that Goatley, who was a reserve driver, was a pretty strong contender for the Ferrari team. We'll have to see if that changes. It is just Reimer today, and Goatley isn't racing for any of the teams. So we'll have to see how Reimer does. Reimer, I believe, is in sixth place right now for qualifying. So we may be seeing a little bit of a mix-up here today. We'll have to see if Reimer is able to even get on podium today. Rebel, do you have an idea or do you think you have an expectation on how the podium's going to look like? No need to be humble with me if you think you're going to be the top step here today.
I think we'll know after the first turn. Um, Mudev's pretty quick. Has Navik ever, or not Navik, sorry, has Prosk ever started on pole that
I
we know of?
don't know. Not in my experience so far, no.
There's a factor when it's your first couple like formation laps where it just doesn't. It's different. You don't really know how the pace of the field's supposed to feel, and it kind of makes you feel a little uneasy.
Fair.
So hoping that he can let the pressure not get to him because it can be quite a bit.
I feel like Prosk has raced quite a bit from my understanding. He's been a great racer so far. I have hope for him. I think Prosk will be good. I'm gonna say Samad's definitely a tough competitor though. I believe Prosk is gonna have the outside at the start, so it will be a little bit of a tough overtaking opportunity, but we'll have to see if Prosk is able to work some magic. Money, I noticed you're in the chat here right now. Welcome to the stream if you weren't already a part of it. You have somebody rooting for you, P5. Congratulations on that. We're rooting for you here as well in the commentator booth. Maybe not Rebel just because he's racing you, but I am at least. So you got to get a P5 now. With Carl the Chast or Ahab, the team principal for Red Bull, saying P7. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see if Money gets a P5 or P7. I'm not going to count P6. You have to get one of those other two though.
So I'm looking at the race director here. It looks like everybody behind Smad's currently selected mediums down to J. Then it goes to hards.
Okay.
I the hards under fuel at the beginning of the race are pretty bad from my experience. If he can hold on though, he'll be all right. But turn one's going to be rough for him with three other drivers behind him with mediums on.
Yes, we'll have to see. As we have a late join here by David Shahood, 451. We'll have to see what team he joins here. I believe it may just be the Kick Sauber team. I'm not too sure. David is actually one of the other commentators here at PSF1. Didn't join me here today, but will be joining us on the racetrack. I had the privilege of racing him last week. It was a internal race and quite a great driver. I really enjoyed my time racing against him. As we're now going into the formation lap here, MSA Samad currently leading the pack here in the V car. Prosk sitting quite closely behind him, even with formation on right now in the Williams. Mudev, one of our more experienced and strategic drivers, in my personal opinion, in the Mercedes, currently third here at the moment. Let's see how the tire layout is. We have primarily mediums throughout the grid at the moment, with only 4 hards. Are you currently talking to Navik at the moment, or did you guys plan to coordinate with each other during this race, Rebel?
No, I didn't even know he was filling in the other Alpine seat until we got in the lobby. We've talked a little bit in the Alpine team chats. He asked me about strategy and a few other things. I gave him a couple tips there, but I typically don't give good strategy to other drivers
Fair. It's a
because
little.
mine kind of relies on everything going the way it's supposed to go.
Hey, and when it works great. I have zero doubt in my mind. We'll have to see. We're watching a lot of these guys wiggle around right now, trying to get heat into those tires. Not a lot of hard tires, though. We'll have to see how the mediums flare up. I anticipate a primarily medium hard race. I'd be surprised to see any soft tires come out unless there is a virtual safety car or a safety car here. We're now watching them coming on to the Sector 3 back straight here. A lot of wiggling. This is kind of a cool angle, honestly. Or we may be seeing that's the whole grid right there, ladies and gentlemen. All of the drivers here right now in one camera angle shot. Very, very cool. Oh, actually, nope, one more. David in the back right there. But the drivers currently coming around turn 14, 15, and 16, about to start lining up here. I'll try to get the best angle possible here to make sure we see any possible action. Little unfortunate, I missed a pretty big moment apparently with 7 in Miami, and I hope I don't do that again. 7, to give context, was an Alpine driver as well, and he got thrown off the track. All 4 wheels got lifted and thrown off the track. It was a pretty major moment. I'm a little bummed I missed it, but maybe we get to see something like that here today. Hopefully not for the driver's sake, but hopefully yes for the viewer's sake, obviously, because that'd be super cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to hold on to your seats here as the 5 red lights are going to start going out here in a moment. And away we go in the Shanghai International Circuit here. Phenomenal start from Prost from what I can see here. Mudev, the Alpine of Rebel, moving up into the inside of Mudev. Wide swing as Rebel moves up in the third position here. Looking out for an outside as we have a spin from Reimer. JM624 moves up into fourth position here. A lot of contact going on from what I can see. A little unfortunate for a lot of these drivers. Mac moving through the inside past JM. Phenomenal turn there into turn 4. Moving up a place here. 5 positions gained by Carrot G and the Williams. Great, great driving here as we're now watching Mudev possibly slam into the back. The race strategies is blocking the view a little bit here. Didn't quite see a little bit of a lockup there for Mudev. Thankfully, no contact from what I could tell. Almost hitting back a Rebel there for a moment, though. Mac moving past Carrot G into 5th position. Phenomenal start here for Mac. We'll have to see what happens. GDB 0791 in the Aston Martin moving up 4 whole positions with IUF1 William and TRD Phoenix falling quite a fair bit back into the field there. Very, very unfortunate for these drivers here. Huge train here. We're about to watch a great fight in the turn up 14 hairpin. Currently going through turn 12, 13. We're now watching Mac here at the moment, followed quite closely by the Williams of Carrot G here. We'll have to see if there's a maneuver. Our top 4 drivers are quite comfortably far away from each other. I believe these guys have the closest time to each other. I don't believe we're going to be seeing anything here. Mac actually pulls away quite intensely here. Not seeing anything. A little bit of a lockup there from Carrot G and the Williams. And great pass by Rammer into the inside. A little bit of contact there. I saw a wheel come off of Navik in the Alpine. Super unfortunate moment as Money takes advantage of the situation, gets a double pass, triple pass, I believe, on these drivers. Phenomenal move by Money, taking advantage of the situation there. Reimer, a little bit of contact with the Alpine. I don't see any clear damage on the Alpine at the moment. And I'll quit talking a little bit. Rebel, how do you feel right now in third position? He might be locked in here at the moment. I did tell him he's free to ignore me.
Um,
Oh.
it's like, I don't know, it's okay. I'm gonna wait for DRS to open, but I think I have much lower wings than the 2 in front of me. I've been sitting on full battery and they've been harvesting quite a bit.
Fair enough. It has been a little bit of a crazy move. Phenomenal maneuver by Money, though, as we got to see a little bit ago. Quite close to the back of the Aston Martin GDB 0791 here. Coming up onto the rectangle, turn 9 and 10. Money's going to want to stay as close as possible. DRS is going to be activated this lap, so as close as he's able to get to the Aston Martin, the better of a pass he's going to get on the Sector 3 straight here. I'm not seeing anybody else too close. Reimer is sniffing the back of Money. Reimer has been a better driver so far this season than Money. We'll have to see how Money decides to defend, or maybe he overtakes GDP and lets GDP defend Reimer for him. As Money moves into the inside, very, very simple pass by the books there by Money, moving to the front of the Aston Martin. Reimer looking for the inside. The Aston Martin defends a little bit, moving to the inside, moves back onto the racing line, and Reimer is not able to get a maneuver off there. GDB almost gets a better launch off of turn 14, but does not get ahead. MSA Samad now setting the fastest lap. Carrot G in the Williams, a 36.715, charging up through the field. Mudev is now less than 3/10 here away from Rebel. We'll have to see if anything happens here. The top 4 have been consistent. There hasn't been any movement, but I have zero doubt in my mind these 4 gentlemen are sniffing for a pass with MSA Samad quite nervous, most likely. The mental aspect of racing is a huge component. It's very draining, much less obviously having to keep your eyes on the track here. JM wanting to move up, catching up, wanting to catch up as much as possible to his teammate in first place here. And Reimer gets a maneuver done on GDB actually in turn 6. Phenomenal maneuver there. I have zero doubt in my mind. Coming up into turn 7 and 8, I believe this is here. We are starting to see a little bit of a separation here between 4th and 5th place. Carrot G is barely staying within a second of Mudev. I believe Carrot G has gotten DRS, but if you do not get DRS by the time this straight happens, JM may be able to get a massive overtake down here. As we're seeing Mac here in the back as well, sniffing the back of this V-carb. Nice little camera angle there. This is a great camera angle. I wish Canada had this camera angle. It's awesome. No maneuver done there by JM624 into the turn 14 hairpin. Is sniffing even closer now though to Carrot G. Carrot G is going to want to possibly think about a defensive maneuver here going into turn 1, 2, 3. Reimer sniffing the back of money as well here. Let's jump back up to JM. A little bit of a deep dive there by Carrot G, as JM actually has to defensively brake, almost slamming in the back of the Williams there. Big moment. Thankfully, didn't cause any kind of collision there, and does not get a maneuver pass due to that little skerfuffle. Reimer looking for the inside of money here. Almost gets it side by side. Coming up on the turn 6 here, the Aston Martin in the way of these two right now. We'll have to see if Money uses the Aston Martin as a defensive piece, and Reimer gets the maneuver done, hitting the back of the Aston Martin, spinning out a little bit into turn 6. Huge moment there as Reimer loses the position to Money due to the error there. Money is now moving up, looking at the back of UF1 William here, who has managed to hold both of these drivers back. There's now a very definitive break here between 7th and 8th place, as the top 7 here are kind of starting to move on, and the rest of the grid here is now fighting for positioning. We'll have to see if there's any overtaking done here with DRS on. It is now becoming a three-way fight for 5th place here, as Carrot G is now causing a little train here. As excuse me, I thought I saw a pass happen there. I did not. As JM moves into the inside before turn 14 and locks up, a pretty big lockup there as Mac dives a little too deeply, and Carrot G overtakes once again, does not overtake, excuse me, coming out, and does get the maneuver done before turn 16. A little bit of an unfortunate moment there by JM. A huge lockup there cost him the position and the move in general. Possible little wasted tire life there as he moves into the inside of turn 1, touches the grass a little bit, almost loses the carts. It looked like now has the inside. William is still side by side going into turn 4, and JM still fighting for this position here as Carrot G does not want to give it up as they're coming up into turn 5 and 6 now. The first rhythm is going to be deciding, and excuse me, JM gets the maneuver done before turn 6. Phenomenal maneuver there by JM, and we actually have a moment here, yellow flag, as Reimer lost positions here, now down to 13th place. Possible loss of car control there. Super unfortunate there from Reimer. Once again, one of the better drivers of the league here. This has not been his track, though, it seems like, as he's now going around the outside of JDB. 071 loses it, touching the grass, left rear, or left front. I was about to say left rear front. Left front tire touches the grass, loses traction, and falls to almost, I bet you it's going to be 3 seconds in a second. Almost 3 seconds behind Reimer there. Very unfortunate moment though, as JM has now moved up, and Mac actually got a maneuver pass of Carrot G here. Excuse me. Unfortunate that we missed that maneuver there. A lot has been happening so far. JM, another huge lockup into turn 14 here. Really going through their tire life, a little bit of a wiggle as Carrot G is now looking at the inside, decides to back out as they now hit turn 16. A little bit of an overshot there by Mac. Mac's going to want to make sure that he does not get any penalties. I'm actually very impressed. 7 laps-ish so far, 6 laps, and there hasn't been a single penalty so far. Pretty impressive racing here from all these guys. The top 4 have not changed, but they haven't gone outside of a second of each other. So I've been trying to keep a track of that, see if there's any maneuvers that are about to happen, but it doesn't seem like anything's occurring. What's going through your mind right now, Rebel? I feel like the top 4 of you right now probably have a very similar mindset here. So, what's your thought process? Are you just trying to save the
Um,
tires?
they're taking this turn really wide, and I know they're hitting orange on their cores for sure. But this is the sketchy section for me, unfortunately, with my low wings.
I'll have to see where that is here. I see. As we see Rebel here hit turn 11 and 12 now, coming up on the parabolic turn. It seems that Rebel is playing a little bit of a waiting game, knowing that his opponents are wasting their tire life here. Tire degradation, once again, is incredibly high here for this. Oh, excuse me, as we see a pretty big moment there from Mac, losing the rear tires there. This may give Carrot G an opportunity to get a pass done as we get another yellow flag. I want to search right now, guys, but I don't want to miss this overtake. You'll have to give me a super quick second here as we see another lockup there by JM, unfortunately. No overtaking was done, though. Let me jump around and see if anybody, as JDB had a huge moment, it seems like, in the back. Now 17 seconds behind Reimer. Very unfortunate race here so far from GDB. I've had great races with this guy. One that I remember quite fondly was Qatar, I believe. He's a phenomenal racer. I wasn't too quick myself, to be quite honest with you guys. I was more of a midfield guy myself. Wasn't really a top competitor here as we're now watching Rebel within zero point 0.3 seconds here. Possible pass here, and no.
I think
That,
Prosk's tires are overheated. Problem is he keeps falling into me, and then the dirty air on the turn in is just killing me.
yes, the dirty air. I'd mentioned it
I
earlier
think
while
he's
I was
going to
talking.
lose DRS here, though.
I think he is. He's almost 2 seconds away. As I want to point this out super quickly, Reimer in the Ferrari has DNF'd. I don't believe he crashed out. He may have retired from the session. As GDB also decides to retire from the session here. Super unfortunate. We do provide points to drivers between first place and 15th place. So a little sad there. Those teams will be missing out on any and all points today. Well, I guess excuse me. The Aston Martin team
I
still
think
has points.
Prosk is going to be in trouble from both of us.
Oh yeah, that's a by the books pass. We're now watching Mudev sniffing it
Mudev's going to
back.
get him too.
A double overtake done here on Prost. Super unfortunate. Prost looking for the inside again. Oop. And does get the maneuver done here on Mudev, actually. Manages to defend a position.
I
Great,
might be in
great
trouble.
driving by Prost because Rebel is now concerned for his own safety here. Pretty crazy double overtake there. Prost even manages to fight back into turn 14 and gets third place back here. We'll see if Prost sniffs a possible inside-outside here on Rebel. But doesn't look like he's close enough or has the speed, really. Mudev isn't quite close enough either. As MSA Samad is starting to gain a pretty comfortable lead as IUF1 William and Money are now starting to fight here. Pretty deep dive there by William is going to compromise his entrance to turn 3, which is now coming up into turn 4. And Money is not able to take advantage of that situation there. Super unfortunate as we actually see Money lose the rear tires a little bit. Doesn't lose the car, thankfully, as TRD Phoenix here is now within a second of these two drivers ahead. Money's going to want to try to keep it as clean as possible as Money actually goes to the inside of William. And TRD Phoenix has to dodge Money because Money lost the car. Money has now fallen a position behind with a... I don't want to be rude because he owns the server. With a half-hearted dive attempt into turn 6. A little bit of it seemed like hesitation to me. A little bit of a hesitant dive into turn 6 caused an unfortunate collision from what I could tell. Interior Phoenix took advantage of the situation. Money is going to be fighting for that back though. Fizree, first time chat, welcome here today. I have not looked at the chat here. We've had a fair amount of action here for the first 8 laps here. Predictions from Carl the Chast. First, winner is going to be on a 1-stop. All right, we'll have to see if Mudev does a Samad does a 1-stop. Second prediction is Money gets P7. It's not looking good. As Carrot G passes JM here as we're actually watching. A little bit, I bet you JM did another deep dive into turn 14 and gave Carrot G an opportunity there. Super unfortunate moment there by JM in the V-carb as Carrot G is now going to be wanting to fight his way back into 5th position here. As our first pit now is happening here of the Aston Martin. We'll have to see what tires he decides to throw on. Let's jump back up to Mudev here as they're hitting turn 6 now. Looking back to your predictions here, my good sir, though. Your third prediction is a major collision somewhere between the top 5. Okay. Okay. That'd be interesting. And then Money and Fumbles named a better combo. I 100% agree. Money will be sniffing the back of this Mercedes. Excuse me, of this Mercedes. He's going to want to get a pass done here. And he's actually now within a second of the Mercedes, as I was saying that. I don't want to give this guy the commentator curse, so I won't be saying too much more. But Money is looking good right now, and he loses the rear car a little bit. I'm going to stop talking about that guy. Let's jump back to Carrot G here in the William, who has been having a very interesting race here. A fight between Mac, Carrot G, and JM624 has been occurring pretty much this whole race, and Mac is currently leading that fight now as Prosk Gets a maneuver done on Rebel, and Rebel gets the switch back into turn 14. Great move there. A little bit of a deep dive by Prosk. We didn't see the full action there. Good move as Rebel.
He was a bit sideways on entry. He locked up.
He locked up. Fair enough. Thank you. Thank you very much, Rebel, for the onside. I've been watching 5th through 7th here at the moment. Uh, but good to see that Prosk is gunning for it. A little bit of a tire moment there by Prosk. It's going to chew through his tires. But Rebel is now going to be wanting to get as close as possible to MSA Samad if he's able to shake Prosk and Mudev off here as Navik gets a maneuver done, or excuse me, Money's actually in the pit lane. Never mind.
I've absolutely cooked my tires because of being behind him. I
You
can't take this flat anymore.
really?
Yeah, I'm at 60% on the rear left.
Prosk actually just overshot turn 8 here, so you're not doing too bad. Mudev is playing the long game, though, from what I can tell. Mudev, looking at the back of these two guys, your top 5 crash may happen here, Rebel. I don't mean to wish you bad here, but we'll have to see how aggressive Prosk is. Prosk did say that China was one of his more confident tracks as we actually get a caution in sector 1 here. Let me jump back, and we have Money who spun out. Super unfortunate moment there for the McLaren team. Uh, but Money is now 17 seconds behind the person, I guess ahead of them at this point. I don't believe Money's pitted yet. Money did pit. Money pitted and spun out. Super unfortunate moment there. Money's going to have burnt his tires a little bit with that spin out. We'll have to see how Money corrects the mistake here. A little bit of a tire tap into the grass. Great move there. Utilizing as much curb as possible here. As we now have Mudev still sniffing the back of these guys. Prosk did not get a maneuver done into turn 14 as I thought he would have. Looks like they're just sitting now. Rebel has advantage here with clean air ahead of them. JM now, though. I feel like we have like a three-way fight in 2 different locations. This is pretty cool. I'm going to say Samad, though, in the front here. 10-second penalty by Mavic here in the Alpine for speeding in the pit lane. Super unfortunate moment as William now sets the fastest time on a set of hard tires, a 36.394. Congratulations to him at the moment, currently holding the fastest lap. I'm going to say Samad, though. Kind of pulling away pretty cleanly here. Prosk still sniffing the back of Rebel here. We'll have to see if a maneuver can get done. I really doubt it, though, at this point. In the stint, all 3 of these guys have had their tires chewed up and probably really can't do too much with it anymore. It's going to go down to strategy now at the moment to see what may occur. I think for the few next laps, it's going to be a little bit of a train fest here. I don't really think we're going to be watching any major overtakes. A lot of these guys have pretty much gone through their tire. Matter of fact, here, let's throw on some tire length detail. Pretty much everybody in the top 7. Yes, as Carrot G looks to the inside of Mac, does not get a maneuver done though, and Prosk gets a pat. Oh no, Rebel dove into the pit lane. Excuse me, Rebel. Rebel and Mudev diving into the pit lane. Prost moves up into second position. I feel like I don't notice the pit lane thing in time, and I think somebody passed here. And Carrot G moves up into third position. Mac actually giving up the position without a fight into turn 1 here. Maybe a good maneuver here by Mac, honestly. Once again, the tires and all these guys are kind of cooked. It would have been a dangerous moment there for a lot of these guys if there's a little bit of a tussle. Probably something JM, though, was looking forward to. As we now see about half of the grid here at this point is about done with their mandatory one-stop tire change, I believe. We'll have to see if anybody does a one-stop, but once again, tire degradation is terrible on this track. I really doubt we'll be seeing too many one-stops, if any, but we'll see if any of these
Oh yeah, I'll be doing
drivers...
a one stop.
You'll be... Okay, never mind. Rebel made me eat
Yeah,
my
there's no
words.
doubt in my mind I'll do one stop.
Okay, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Rebel will be doing a one-stop unless there's a safety car. My assumption is because he saved his soft tires, as he had mentioned. But honestly, I really doubt we're going to be seeing anything. A lot of these guys have kept it incredibly clean. As we see JM dive deeply into turn 12 there, losing a little bit of time to the pack that he stayed up, a full second behind now, almost a second and a half behind now. And he made me eat my words again. 2 seconds back as JM is now losing control of the car, hitting the grass through the parabolic curve of turn 13. They're super unfortunate. We are going to be seeing a pit stop, I guarantee, there as Mac moves across Carrot G and the Williams here, utilizing DRS in sector 3. A little bit of a deep dive once again here into turn 14. Carrot G is going to be fighting this and backs out, actually. We'll have to see if there's any as pit lane. No, Carrot G does not decide to go into the pit lane. Mac does go into the pits. We'll have to see if JM also. JM actually loses the car once again. JM is falling behind incredibly quickly. Those tires are probably beyond burnt right now as we're now
Yeah,
seeing
they're
him
hot.
dive into the pit lane. A left wheel lockup as the tires covered in mud. I've never seen that before. That's a very interesting effect. I wonder if you guys can see that. I assume, right? Look at that. His tires all messed up. That's pretty. That's a pretty cool detail. That thing is at like 94% tire wear. JM punctured. That makes sense. I've never seen a puncture in this game before. JM, very unfortunate moment there for you. We'll have to see if you are able to bring it back, though. A few of these drivers are taking advantage of that, though, as IUF1 William, who's our very first pit stop, I believe, this race, has moved up now into seventh position. We're currently watching Prosk here at the moment. Mudev did get a pass on Prosk, actually. I completely missed that. Super unfortunate there from
It
Prosk.
was the undercut.
It was an undercut. Okay, they actually dove into the pit lane at the same time. So I'm curious if Prosk maybe messed up his entrance or exit into the pit
No,
lane.
Mudev came in with me.
Oh, Mudav came in with you. I'm
Samad came in
misremembering.
with.
Samad went in with Muda or with Prosk. Okay, okay. Great undercut then by Mudev. I was a little confused. I thought they went in together, so I was confused as to how that could have happened. But a great undercut maneuver there by Mudev, moving up into the current hypothetical third position. I believe we're going to be seeing MSA Samad in first, Rebel in second, and Mudev in third. Of course, Prosk is going to be sniffing the podium here as Fizri, first time chatterer, raced in the Netherlands, and the deg there is awful as well. Yes, there's a few of these tracks that are crazy. Netherlands, Zandervoort with I mean, it's such a strong, high downforce track. The mechanical grip there is insane because I mean, at that point, you're just maximizing your momentum at any point on that track you can. Completely chew through your tires there. As we're now watching Carrot G, who was our first place holder there, now diving to the pit lane, getting overtaken by Mac. We'll have to see if JM is not able to get an overtake. JM is too far back due to the multiple errors in Sector 3 that we saw as Tier D, or as Rebel gets a pass here on Tier D Phoenix. Tier D Phoenix is now the only one to not have pit stopped. Very worn tires. I have zero doubt in my mind these are miserable to drive on here at the moment. We may be seeing a second puncture, to be quite honest with you. Down into third gear through turn 8. We'll have to, and almost first gear through the rectangle, losing the rear a little bit. Tier D Phoenix is going to be wanting to pit stop here. Most likely going to be falling into, if I had to take a gander, between 6th to 8th position here is where I'd have to guess that the Mercedes is going to be ending up on. But Mudev and Prosk are going to be quite happy with this. They're going to be getting a free tow here from TRD Phoenix. Any tow is a good tow. And Prosk is going to be wanting to, well, I guess Prosk wouldn't be happy because he's getting a tow and is able to stay in front of him. But, oh, dive there. A little bit of contact there. TRD Phoenix turns into the outside of Prosk. No damage from what I can see. Very, very lucky for Prosk. That could have been a big moment there, but thankfully everything is okay as MSA Samad gets a 36.272 on hard tires. And it's now saying that the pit window is open for any one stoppers. Any reason why you pit stopped so early, Rebel, compared to what the game is now recommending?
Um, 11-12 is what the game recommends for medium.
Okay. So with Charity
That's what it said
Phoenix,
in the setup screen.
okay. So I unfortunately don't get to see a lot of information these guys get to see as drivers, which I think is a little silly. I hope they fix that in F126. But it seems like this is now the pit window for Tier D Phoenix, who will most likely be finishing the race out now on medium tires. We'll have to see how that affects him, though, as he's very quickly falling behind now. He has an 11-second window between himself and the Aston Martin behind. I am zero doubt that he's going to want to take advantage of the fact that he's almost 12 seconds ahead of that car. The pit lane time is on average about 20 to 24 seconds. It depends on the track. I don't know the exact number here for China, but it's at least a minimum of a 21-second stop wasted time, essentially. So Tier D Phoenix is not going to want to waste too much time out on track. He's actually staying pretty consistently ahead here of William and the Aston Martin. Um, Not losing too much time, I think at least, especially because Williams about to have a little bit of a skerfuffle here with Mac. Mac is going to be looking for the inside on the turn six and actually goes for an outside maneuver. Phenomenal move there by Mac. A little bit of a lockup. William goes for a switchback here and gets the maneuver done. Does not get the maneuver done. No, Mac actually managed to pull away there. There's a little bit of a depth perception issue there. Excuse me there, guys. As Tier G Phoenix actually gets a 10-second time penalty despite the long stint. Super unfortunate moment there from Tier D Phoenix that is going to ruin his race strategy here as William is looking on the outside of Mac here. Possible switchback maneuver here. Mac defending the inside of turn three here. Going into turn four, defends the inside of turn four. Great defensive maneuver there by Mac by not swinging wide there. The ideal racing line does have you go a little bit outside, completely stopped William from peeking his nose in there, and he's now too far to make a move at the moment. Almost a rear end there by William, actually. Very lucky for both of these drivers. Rear damage in this game is brutal. If you take rear end damage or any kind of floor damage, these cars become next to useless. These things are designed, engineered to be the perfect pictures of speed in the motorsport world. And a 3-second time penalty from IFU1 William. We saw him cut the corner a little bit there of turn 10. Yes, that was turn 10 that we saw him cut the corner on, and that may have cost him a fight here. Mac will not really have to defend. Mac knows that as long as he's within 3 seconds of IUF1 William, that he will get the position no matter what. It's zero doubt in my mind, though, that Mac definitely just wants to hold the position out of merit, though. So we'll have to see what happens here. Let's jump over here to our other competitors. Currently, Mudev chasing the back of Prosk and the Williams here. Not too many laps remaining. I believe just about 12. A lot of action here so far this race, though. I'm quite happy as we actually see William close the gap pretty close here to Mac now. A little bit of a heavy curb chop there from William going into turn two. May have cost him a little bit of time here. I'm curious if Mudev may get a maneuver done, as Mudev is currently outside of the podium now once again. Rebel, how do you feel about your chances of closing in on Samad here?
He's definitely got more wings in the middle sector, and he's got pace.
That's
so
fair.
I'm looking at a P2 right now.
All right. Rebel feels quite confident. As I say that, Mudev took a very deep dive into turn 11 there, manages to keep the car in control, is now second and 2/10 behind Prosk here. Very unfortunate moment there for Mudev. Sorry, Rebel, were you going to say something?
There's the two back there are fighting, so they're gonna be killing those tires.
Yes, for the rest of the race they will be. At this point, it is going to be a fight for third. Rebel did not sound too confident on being able to close the gap on Samad for first place here. Samad is
His
currently...
tires have to go for me to be able to get him, I think.
Okay. I haven't really sat in Samad's cockpit, ladies and gentlemen. Let's join Samad here on the track. Very low battery here so far. Samad is harvesting pretty efficiently here if he's been doing this every lap, though, as IUF1 William is currently fighting with Carrot G. Let's jump to the back here very quickly as William gets a pass done on turn 16. Great move there. Carrot G tried to sniff the inside of turn 16. It was a very awkward position to pass, though. I don't blame Carrot G for backing out of that corner. Here in PSF1, we do have a rule for attacking cars. If it's a 50-50 corner, that wasn't, just to be clear. But if it's a 50-50 corner, the attacking car is responsible for backing out and obviously not causing a collision. So that was a very grown-up maneuver there by Carrot G, not deciding to stick his nose in there and possibly causing some damage between both of these cars. But I have zero doubt in my mind Carrot G is very unhappy here and is going to be itching for a pass in the Sector 3 straight. Money currently not fighting with Mavic. Mavic actually goes into the pit lane and is doing a two-stop strategy here today. Mavic may be our only two-stopper of the day. We'll have to see if that changes. A little bit of a lockup we heard there from Carrot G. Looking and sniffing at the back of this Aston Martin. I have zero doubt in my mind Carrot G wants to get up as high as possible and net as many points as possible for the Williams team. Williams is currently in a Constructors' Championship competition with the Red Bull and with the Alpines as Carrot G gets a very by-the-book maneuver done on the straight here. William not close enough really to get a pass back here. Carrot G now moving up into the field is going to want to get as close as possible to this Red Bull. The Red Bulls have had a great season so far. Both drivers, Despy, who's not here at the moment, have raced very, very well. Despy, unfortunately, had a very big disqualification moment in Miami, which did cost the team a few points. We'll have to see if Mac's able to make it up, and if he stays in fifth place, he will be making it up. So great driving here so far from all of these drivers today. I'm having a great time. I hope you guys are as well. If there's any other 10 lap 10 lap predictions left, do drop it in the chat. If you have a favorite driver so far, do drop it in the chat as well. Once again, these guys love having support and seeing you guys root for them here. As I was talking, William actually did a two-stop. Let's see what the tires are looking like here for everybody. But William and Mavic, who are the only other pit lane two stoppers, have a hard and a medium. William has a hard tire here at the moment, and Mavic decided to throw on some medium tires. Mavic may be looking for a last stint charge. We'll have to see if that does anything. The Alpine team will be getting some points. Once again, you do get points between first place and 15th place here at PSF1. If you are interested in racing with us, we first of all love having people. So we highly encourage you to join us here at PSF1. We have two divisions. We have a Division 1 and a Division 2. If you feel like you're not a very good driver or you're maybe just new to sim racing, our Division 2 is there to help you. We highly encourage new drivers to join us. We love having new people. And maybe once you get a little more comfortable, obviously, with the sim rig, you can join us up here in Division 1. As we're now seeing Prosk actually quite close to the back of Rebel here. Excuse me. Prosk actually even managed to pull away from Mudev. Mudev is now a whole second and a half behind when he was within a second a few laps ago. We'll have to see if Prosk is able to get a pass done on Rebel here in the Sector 3 straight as we're now going through the rectangle. A little bit of a rear end loss there from Prosk that may have cost him any ability to get a pass here as they're coming up on the turn 11-12 chicane. A little bit of a lockup once again there from Prost. Does manage to swing the car through, though. Rebel using as much curb as possible here through the parabolic curve. Prost maybe a little bit too far to get a move done on Rebel as we're seeing both of these drivers using a fair amount of battery. The DRS zone is quite late into the straight here. So Prost was not really able to close the gap as much as I'm sure he would have liked, though sniffing the back of Rebel here going through turn 14. Very, very close there as they are now swinging into turn 16 and starting the next lap. Fizri, yes, we'd love to have you here. That is the Discord join code. You can search us up. PSF1, I believe the Twitch channel also has a possible invite link, I think. Don't correct me or don't correct me on that. There we go. Thank you very much. I'll adjust that. I just got access to the Twitch here a little bit ago, so I'm still kind of figuring out how all this stuff works. As we're watching Prost go to the outside, Rebel with a defensive maneuver into turn 6 here. A little bit of side pod contact as Rebel manages to hold on to the position. Great moves there from both of these drivers. Phenomenal defense from Rebel there on the inside. Prost still looking for the inside and decides to back out as they're now going through the S's. Very, very intense moment there. Good defense and good attack by both of these drivers here. It is now a battle for second place here. But going back to Fizri, thank you for your interest. I will be adjusting that. Thank you very much. I'll have to search up a YouTube video for that. I'm very new to the whole Twitch thing, to be quite honest with you. But I love doing this stuff for the viewers. I love doing this stuff for the racers. They enjoy the attention as much as I love giving it. So I'd love to have you here on the racetrack here, Bizri. Prosk with a very, very intense lockup there into turn 14. Almost rear-ended Rebel here. Thankfully, I don't believe anything occurred there, but almost a huge moment in the race for the top two or the second and third place drivers here. As Prosk still sniffing the back of this Alpine, maybe going for a maneuver here into the snail complex, going into the outside, a little bit of a side pod contact there from what I can tell. Going for a switchback possibly as Rebel leaves the door open into turn 3. Let's go into the broadcast. Rebel now has the inside into turn 4 and manages to hold on to the position. Great defensive maneuver there. Mudev is taking advantage of the fight and is now in the mix here. It is a three-way fight for second place. Mudev sniffed the inside for a half a second. A little bit of a lockup there from Prosk. Great defense here from Rebel so far. These last few fights have been exhilarating to watch. We'll have to see how Mudev switches up the race. For any and all of our viewers watching, I do want to tell you our simulation setup, or I guess our race setup. We do have medium traction control. ABS is allowed on. We only allow corners only for the racing line. We highly encourage our drivers to learn the track, though, by habit, as Prosk looking for the inside-outside maneuver through the chicane, going through the outside of the parabolic curve. Rebel squeezing him, maybe just a tad, not really actually. Backs out. Prosk loses the rear tires there a little bit, and Mudev gets an inside pass through the parabolic curve. Prosk's desperation to pass Rebel here has cost him a position as Mudev is taking advantage. Deep dive by Prosk into turn 14, side by side with Mudev and Mercedes here as they now do a drag race up into turn 16. The inside is for Prosk here. I really doubt he's going to back out. And Mudev going for a switchback here. Great exit, phenomenal exit there by Mudev as he moves up into third position. Prosk is not able to keep it, does have DRS. So does Mudev, unfortunately, and Prosk confidently falls down into fourth position. Super unfortunate moment there by the Williams driver. Interesting pass attempt, though. Turns 11 and 12 there, the chicane. A little bit of an unfortunate setup, though. Did have the outside going into turn 13, which is not very ideal. That did give Mudev a very strong pass. As we actually get tire performance? Why do we get max, though? Well, as you can see, Mac has slightly fresher tires except his front left. Mac must be leaning into that snail complex quite intensely. I've never seen that graphic before, but that was pretty cool. I wish that happened more often. I feel like there's buttons, guys. I'm sure I just don't know what I'm doing here. I'll have to look into that for you guys. I'd really like to apologize. I really hope they fix that if it's not an option though in F126. Prosk here, very, very close to the back of Mudev. I believe Mudev has a lot of battery to blow through. Both of these drivers have a lot of battery to blow through, and I don't really think we're going to be seeing any action here. As I say that, Mudev looking for the inside of Rebel into turn 14 and backs out of it. Sold him a dummy. Rebel did not take the bait. Holds on to second position. Great, great mental fortitude there by Mudev as Carrot G gets a 3-second penalty. I believe that is. Let's see our penalties here. Just 3 seconds. Nobody has 6 seconds. As Mudev moves into the inside of Rebel into the snail complex. Very, very, very deep dive into turn 1, kind of pushing Rebel a little bit wide, and it seems that Mudev, as Prosk actually hits the inside of Rebel, trying to get a pass there, a little bit opportunistic there by Prosk, as he tried to also take advantage of the open door there that Mudev left open. Mudev, though, great, great pass there. Very deep dive into the snail complex. Eventually put his car pretty much on all the proper apexes he needed to and completely blocked Rebel's ability to take the position back there. Rebel's going to be sniffing for a retake, though. Very unfortunate moment there. Almost a double overtake, which Rebel, well, I guess he didn't really defend. That was a kind of a crazy dive by Prosk. Prosk actually loses the rear and crashes into the wall. Prosk may be out of podium contention here now entirely. I didn't see any front wing damage, though, as we now see Money. Hi, Money. Prosk has lost the right end plate there and is now out of podium contention. And because of the front wing damage here, Mac may be able to go into fourth position as Prosk cuts the corner of the chicane. Super unfortunate moment from the Williams driver here. We'll have to jump back actually in a moment as Rebel's now trying to get a switchback done here on Mudev. Mudev parks it on the apex, moves a little too soon. It's a little bit of a drag race. Rebel unfortunately loses the rear a little bit coming out of turn 15, and Mudev holds on to the position. Prosk, super unfortunate jumping back to this. Yeah, money cameo. Thank you, Ahab. That was a little funny. As Prosk actually dives into the pit lane, overshooting the pit lane even. Money now sets the fastest lap. Congratulations to Money at 35.107 as Mac now moves up into a comfortable fourth position here. But going back, I saw Fizri talking about the chat. Fizri, once again, even if you're a new driver, we're here to help you. You know, we everybody here loves sim racing. We always want to help people out. But I do want to point out, I don't believe Division Two has a commentator. It is more of a consider it like Formula Two, from my understanding. And then once you feel comfortable enough, you're able to race up in Division One. I believe we do sometimes allow Division Two drivers to be reserve drivers. A little bit of a moment from Rebel there, the rear, losing the rear there in turn 10, manages to keep control of the car. Great control there from Rebel. But as I was saying, sometimes we do let Division Two drivers, I believe, race in Division One. I believe Mavic is a full-time Division Two driver who has been allowed to race in Division One. But anyway, yes, feel free to join Fizri. It's a very long season. You'll have a lot of time to practice. We do have a team principal system going on at the moment, so almost every team has a team principal, and then obviously two drivers. As Mudev loses the rear tires, Rebel is looking for the open door here and backs out of turn 16. Almost a huge moment there for Mudev. The tires on both of these guys must be completely gone at this point. We've seen two pretty big moments here from these guys as JM sniffing the back of TRD Phoenix. Now, he doesn't need to fight TRD Phoenix. The 10-second penalty will drop TRD Phoenix below JM, but sometimes it's just about the ego, you know? Sometimes you just want to be the faster driver. So we'll have to see if JM decides to do anything there. For now, let's jump back to our second place fight here. A little bit of a deep dive there by Muda, a defensive maneuver, I believe, as we jump back a little late here. Rebel, very, very close to the back. The S's are going to be a little bit brutal for Rebel here with the dirty air, very, very deep into turn 7. Very nice control, though, through the S's, even with the dirty air, to be quite honest with you, as we're now hitting the rectangle. These guys are going to want to be super careful with the curbs now. The curbs are not going to be their friends with how low or how high, excuse me, the tire degradation is going to be. A little bit of a lockup there from Rebel, diving through the chicane, about to hit the parabolic curve. Rebel has 3 more. Oh, sector 2, caution. Let's jump around. Money spun out there, coming out of turn 6, it seems like. Very unfortunate moment there from Money, who's currently sitting in 11th place. He is now. Ooh, actually, I'm kind of curious. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. How did I do that? There we go. Money is a minute 13 behind the leader. Navica, a minute 24. And then after that, Prosk, 45 seconds. And then other than that, obviously, much, much closer here, the rest of the field here. A little bit of fights. We see a little bit of a skerfuffle between 6th and 7th place. Again, I don't believe JM is going to go for a pass. It's much smarter to just sit behind somebody instead of possibly risking a DNF. And then obviously Rebel and Mudev, and Rebel who's now actually fallen behind a little bit here, or no, excuse me. Looked like he fell behind, not fall behind. Sitting in the back of Mudev still. I believe that's kind of it. I don't really think we need any more detailing here for the final 2 laps. Prosk sets the fastest time, a 35.060. We do offer a point for the fastest lap even if you're outside the top 10. I think that's a dumb rule in real F1 where only a top 10 driver can get it. I don't know if they fixed that.
They don't give it anymore anyway.
Oh, never mind. They don't do that anymore. Thank you, Rebel. I don't mean to distract you.
Yeah, they deleted the point.
Okay, good to know. I always thought it was silly that they only gave it to a top 10 driver anyway, though. So, well, at least it's not there at all. So that's kind of cool. We're seeing Prosk in the back here, sniffing the back of the Aston Martin here. I do want to see if Rebel goes for a dive into turn 14. This is going to be a huge opportunity going to the outside. Mudev defending the inside. Lockup from both drivers as Rebel tries to go for a switchback. A little bit of contact there, major contact there, as we actually see Navik in the back. And Mudev manages to hold on to the position. There is now one more lap here. Navik in the Alpine is the guy back there. He is not fighting here as Rebel goes for an outside maneuver into the snail complex here. Quite a wide line he's trying to take. Still side by side. Mudev has to respect the space as Rebel has major contact with Mudev and does not lose the car. And Rebel gets the maneuver done coming out of turn 4. Phenomenal drive there by Rebel. Almost a huge moment there, unfortunately, though. Almost lost the car. A little bit of a tight dive there into turn 4. That section of the track is very, very uncomfortable to move in, and going too wide into it was just incredible. Phenomenal driving from both of these drivers. I mean, that takes a lot of skill from both the defender and the attacker. Great pass by Rebel there. Very wide outside line into the snail complex. Gave him a very deep dive into turn 3, which we did see there. And that let him set himself up
All right,
for
my
the turn 4
ghost
pass.
friend back there needs to get away from him.
Navik Navik may be giving Mudev may have given Mudev a little bit of a toe. I'm sure Alpine. I'm sure Rebel does not want that to happen. As Navik does back off, it seems like that could have been a pretty big moment. I don't believe Mudev sees the ghost, but he does get the benefits of the maneuver here. Mudev tried to sell Rebel a dummy. Rebel did defend a little bit as MSA Samad crosses the finish line first. Congratulations to MSA Samad. A phenomenal, dominant drive from him. Completely took the race as Rebel now crossing turn 16, almost loses the rears there a little bit. Rebel with a phenomenal drive, moving up into second position. Mudev into third position. Great race by all three of these drivers. Complete and utter dominance by MSA Samad. Phenomenal attacking and defending and racecraft from Rebel and Mudev as Mac now crosses the finish line into fourth position. Carrot G, fifth position here. As we're watching a little bit of a fight here. I believe Prost passed William and the Aston Martin on turn 14. A little bit of a ballsy move there. I believe they both have 3 seconds actually. And TRD Phoenix, another 10-second time penalty for not serving his time penalty. Very unfortunate there, as that's going to move Prost and William up above him now. And now
Well,
we're
that
waiting
was
here
intense.
for.
I
You're
think
telling
I
me.
needed to use the higher wing setup. I was cooking the tires in the middle sectors.
No, Rebel. Honestly, whatever. I mean, MSA Samad was on a different planet, but you had a great race, I think, man. Honestly, that was phenomenal attacking, phenomenal defending. I mean, that was a race.
So I mean, the middle sectors were pretty rough, but actually coming out of that corner into the back straight is where I should have upped my wings because I couldn't get enough traction to really make the low wings matter.
Hmm.
And then I'm just sliding around like crazy in the middle of the track for the whole race.
Yeah, it's at the back
The
end of the
higher wings would
race.
have much better.
That's fair. Well, now you know for next season's China GP. That was a great race as we're watching MSA Samad here take his celebratory champagne. MSA Samad, congratulations on your first place win. Complete dominance in the Chinese GP. I believe you pretty much led almost every single lap except for maybe 3. Rebel, second place here. Phenomenal drive for the Alpine. Great fight here between the Alpine and the Mercedes of Mudev, who we're watching right there now. I really enjoyed this race. Honestly, a lot of action, very scrappy, some great fights, and no DNFs. Well, I mean, we did have 2 DNFs, I guess, but I think they left. I don't think they actually crashed out. But great drive. Let's jump over here to the season calendar. Just to remind everybody what to anticipate here for the following week. We are going to be racing in Monaco. Before I actually start talking about the calendar, since I do have the wonderful Rebel, congratulations on your second place, Rebel. That was a phenomenal drive. How did you feel throughout the whole race?
My back is sweaty, so I'm really warm. My foot hurts. There's too much low wings traction control on the foot was not fun for me. But it was a I love China. It's a fun racetrack. I don't care if I'm doing it by myself. It's just a super fun track to race around.
That's fair. I really enjoyed it a lot too. I think the very unique, I guess, like rhythm of the track makes it a lot of fun. Hold on, before I keep asking you questions, I want to make sure this viewer here gets to join PSF1. Okay, cool. He's getting helped by Captain Ahab. Very, very phenomenal drive. Do you think you could have done anything else though, Rebel? Outside of obviously you mentioned it before here, the wing height and stuff. Do you think anything else could have occurred, or is it really mostly that?
No, it's all set up. All set up. I was doing as well as I could that race, but the setup was just holding me back from the middle sectors. That's where like I was losing a good before the tires went. I was losing a good 4 or 5 tenths to Samad in the second sector, and then I'd catch him back up on the straight, but didn't quite. It just wasn't enough. They were not low enough to make an impact.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm gonna say Samad had a pretty much the ideal setup. He's currently leading the drivers' championship, so he's already a very, very strong driver. But Rebel, this was strong points for you as well. I believe you were fourth in the drivers. This may have bumped you up to third now. I don't know how far you were actually from the guy ahead of you here. So once again, phenomenal race. Thank you very much for joining me in the booth as well. Just because obviously you're a driver and you probably got other worries at the moment. You are third already. Excuse me. You're not fourth. You're currently third. Unfortunately, I don't believe you'll have enough points to get close to Samad, but that was nonetheless a very large chunk there that'll help you move up into the Drivers' Championship. This is also very helpful for Alpine, obviously. You did unfortunately lose your second driver, but this will keep Alpine in a very strong position in the Constructors' Championship here. Uh, with Red Bull only having Mac, you will stay ahead of the Red Bull team here. But how are you feeling about Monaco next week?
I think I'm going to spend a day solid qualifying in Monaco and then not do anything else because nothing else matters.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear about our sim racers. Once again, thank you very much for joining me here in the booth, Rebel. I had a great time watching you race as well. Phenomenal, phenomenal race. You should definitely clip some of this because I mean, that was some racing, man. I love watching clean racecraft, and that was the picture definition of that.
I would clip if I had anything to clip. I forgot to start my recording at the start of the race, so
10-second penalty for not recording. No, I'm kidding.
I'd if I get reported maybe, but I know that Mamudev and Prosk we raced clean and hard. We had some contact, but nothing that I don't think was absolutely like out of this world a problem. No, I don't think anyone got damage until Prosk took himself off the track. Which, from what I understand in chat here, he said he accidentally turned his ERS on mid corner,
Oh,
and that'll do it.
that will do it. I was wondering
I
why
was wondering
Prost
how he
lost
lost
it.
it there.
Me
Yeah, that
too.
was such a weird spot for him to lose it, but that makes total sense. He making that right hander, he probably hit the overtake button, or just even going up to hot. Well, I mean medium. If he wasn't in medium, that instant torque that would have done it.
Yeah, no, I was wondering too. I think we were on board as well when that happened. Super unfortunate though, but well, he knows not to. Oh, he's in the chat actually. Turned on overtake. Is that what you read? That's super unfortunate, Prosk. Very sorry about that. But nonetheless, you had a great race. You made the best of it, and you just got to look forward to Monaco. But I believe we're going to be trying to get other people in here today. Hopefully, we do. But give me a quick second, guys, as I'm reading stuff on my end here at the moment. Word from the pit lane has gotten back to me. Mac didn't feel very good this race, actually. Uh, he didn't feel like he had it going for him, but it looks like he surprised himself, and he also hates China. So Mac, phenomenal race from you, though, man. I wouldn't think about it too much. You gained the opportunities where you found them, and you managed to move up. Honestly, a fair amount of positions, I think, with a fair amount of scrapping as well. Uh, couldn't have been better unless Revel and Mood have crashed out in the turn four kerfuffle, which didn't happen. But that was nonetheless a great race. Prosk finally had good pace. Yeah, that was unfortunate, man. It happens, you know. You get locked in, and it just happens. I feel that that happens in real life. That happens in racing. There was a moment a little bit ago in Assetto Corsa Competizione where I was on Mount Panorama and I got a little too locked in and I didn't take my foot off the gas, which seems like a really silly thing to do, but I just genuinely was like, why am I not braking? I broke the car. Uh, but it does happen. Okay. We will be having some people joining us here. I believe Mudev is going to be coming here first. Rebel, if you want to stay here, you are technically our second commentator. So if you have any questions, do feel free to ask them. But we will be bringing Mudev in now.
Yes, I will ask him. How does the back of my diffuser look, Mudo?
Oh, he's here. You heard him, Mudev. What's the answer? No, I'm kidding. Great drive, Mudev. You are muted at the moment, FYI, in case you weren't aware. Um, phenomenal drive, though, man. I mean, that was some clean fighting between you and Rebel as well there at the little bit at the end. How do you think you could have changed the outcome of today's race, strategy wise or possibly setup wise? You are still muted, FYI. Hello. Seems that Mudev is possibly not at their laptop here at the moment. Oh, they're out. All right. While we wait for Mudev to figure it out, we will be bringing in Mac. Mac, welcome here today to the commentators booth. I will be asking you questions along with Rebel. You are also muted though. Do I have you guys muted manually? I would never do that, but they're not talking for you, right, Rebel? Am
They are not. I
I,
can unmute them, but I don't know if they are muted on our end. They're not muted on our end.
okay. Mac, you are muted at the moment. Ah, I see. They're server suppressed actually. I'm not too sure as to why. Um,
They may also be server suppressed in this.
all right, guys. Sorry about the technical difficulties here. Hello, Mac. Are you able to?
Yeah, I'm able to talk now.
All right, here we go, Mac. Phenomenal race, man. You took advantage of everything you could. I did see your comment there in the pit lane, but honestly, you had a great race for somebody who hates China. How did you feel throughout the whole thing?
Not good.
There was at no point where you felt good, really.
uh, Once I crossed the line, I felt pretty good as I finished the race. But yeah, going into practice and seeing what my times were, I felt like I was in a different galaxy, like just so far off. Turned out I wasn't, but yeah, the track's just this track. I don't know
How
how to put it in words.
No, I think anybody who's driven it probably understands exactly what you feel. If you have not driven this track, you will feel exactly as Mac just so verbally expressed. But Rebel, do you have any questions for Mac?
I don't currently. Um, where did you start that race?
I think P11.
What
No,
happened?
P7.
How did
P7 or
turn
8.
one look from your perspective? Because from my perspective, it was not great. But when I looked back, I saw worse things.
It was actually surprisingly all right until Reimer lost his rear end, and I had to take some avoiding action. I think I lost the place to JM. But yeah, those first, I'd say like 5 laps, you might have seen at the hairpin, I just couldn't stop the car, um, and that probably cost me. Looking back on it, with the lap times I saw, probably hang out with the front group and maybe challenge for a podium. But at the end of the day, I had some nice battles with Elliott and JM, so it was fun either way.
Yes, and just to be clear, Elliott is Carrot G, who was in the Williams. That was a nice three-way battle for a lot of that race. Great driving between the three of you, Mac. I love watching proper racecraft. I did want to ask, do you think there was a setup thing with your car? I've noticed a lot of drivers have mentioned that they think a setup was a major aspect of China. Do you think you'd set your car up differently if you got to do this race right now again?
Um, Maybe some higher wings. I was in the 20. I think I was 26, 20, which is relatively high for me, anyways. But I think looking back on it and seeing what Rebel was reporting, low wings at all were useless. So I wouldn't mind maybe jumping to the 30s.
Really?
But other than that, my setup was pretty comfortable, all things considered, minus the fact that that track has no grip.
Yes, the degradation is instant pretty much, and sitting behind people sucks. Thankfully, I think I remember you being quite ahead of the rest of the group of the three-way battle there, excluding obviously the start as you mentioned. Was there this will be my last question. How do you feel like you're going to do in Monaco? What's the game plan for Red Bull there?
Oh, um, great question. Probably just a crap load of time trial and quality sims, and from there just try to get somewhere up front and hope that the race is like real life and not a overtaking race, which I don't think it probably will be.
I'd be surprised unless it was a rain race like season 12. We'll have to see what happens. But Mac, I'd like to thank you very much for joining us. Phenomenal race, man. P4 in China. Oh, excuse me, P4 in China on a track that you apparently feel very badly on is a phenomenal result. But I look forward to seeing you in Monaco, man.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Do you want to shove Mudev over here, Rebel? I'll ask him
Do
that
that.
question again.
Where is he?
How does he feel with the back of your diffuser? That was good.
Every time.
Are you in here, Mudev? That's so funny.
Yeah, he is. Hey, Mudev.
Oh, Mudev.
Evening,
Phenomenal.
gentlemen.
Hello. Phenomenal race, man. We're obviously joking. I love watching crazy racecraft. I love watching good fights. I love watching proper fights. What you and Rebel were doing for the final few laps was great. Do you think you could have done anything differently, strategy wise or possibly setup wise, that could have net you a higher position?
Yeah, now after the race, I think I made a mistake with the setup. I ran very low wings and I had no grip pretty much all the race. So I was struggling on traction zones and also keeping within the DRS because I wasn't getting close enough or could keep up the pace around the corners. So I think P3 was the maximum, and I was lucky to get it. To be honest, if Prosk hadn't had his mistakes, I shouldn't be on the podium. But overall, I should be happy with P3.
So
No,
that was most of my complaint too. So what were your wings? I ran 23-21 in the race. I think I had 29-21 in
E-
qualifying.
Yeah, initially I had my wings around 21-16, but I changed it. I changed them last minute. I put them on 16 and 12.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, I was rapid on the straight, but I was having no grip at all around the corners. I paid the price all over the circuit. So
And I know from our Discord chats here, MSA Samad he was running at least 30s in the 30s. And my original setup was 35, 32, I think was what it was, which is what I should have run with. It was like,
yeah,
I usually have no trouble, staying with them.
yeah.
But yeah, it was too low. You went even lower though. That's crazy.
I think yeah, because the meta on this game is lower wings. Sometimes I get greedy with the wings. I tend to lower it and lower it to gain more on the straights, and also it helps you saving the battery. So you get sometimes greedy with the setup, but yeah, I think the lower wings wasn't the ideal setup around China. So.
oh,
We just have our race winner join the channel. Samad, you want to give us a little insight on how your race went?
Yeah, I mean, can you guys hear me?
I
yes.
can.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty fine. The final stint was just basically under control. The medium stint, I was a bit worried, but I started to pull a gap, and then I just relaxed and saved my tires for the whole race.
You had a
So
phenomenal.
we were just
Oh, sorry,
no.
continue,
Go
Reb.
ahead. Go ahead. No, you take your question first.
Oh, I was gonna say you've had a phenomenal race here. I'm gonna say, Samad. I'll just call you Samad. Sorry. You got a phenomenal
That's
race
okay.
here in China. How are you gonna be feeling here in Monaco, though? Do you think you feel as confident in a street circuit?
No, no. On Monaco, I'm on a pad, so it's gonna be almost impossible to
I'm
be
coming for all of you.
consistent on Monaco.
That's very fair. I was just curious, just because China's one of the widest tracks in the calendar, and then obviously Monaco's Monaco. So I'm excited to see you there. But Rebel, sorry, go ahead and ask your question.
So we were just talking about our wings, and Mudev ran 16-12. I ran 23-21. Were you in the 30s
Six.
then?
I
Yeah,
was in the
16-12 is
low.
crazy.
I was in the low 30s. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna go 35-32 originally, and then I decided against it in quali.
For quali, that's a bit too high for quali. But no, that's fine for quali. Actually, that's fine for quali. For the race, you just need to turn it down to the lower 30s for both wings.
Yeah, I mean your rear is locked in for Park Ferme, so like for our qualifying, I was 21-29, and if I was doing my higher wing setup, I would have ended up 30, probably 38, 32 for quali. But I understand
My
being on a pad versus a wheel, having that wing spread on a pad is just not great because you can't control the turn in nearly as precisely as you can with a wheel.
For my wings, I think I was 32 for the front, 28 for the rear.
Yeah, that sounds like a good middle ground from where I was.
I did run 35, 32, but they were too high for me,
So
so I turned it back down.
you mentioned going into Monaco on a pad is almost impossible. So what is your plan for next week?
I might just skip it.
You have the points in the drivers at the moment to probably honestly miss a race and still hold first place. Your only competition point wise at the moment is at least Mudev, but I'm sure Rebel would love
I
for you
mean,
to
no,
miss a
I'll
race.
race and just stick in last place and stay safe. And if anything happens in the front, then I'll just gain the points. So
That's a very valid
yeah,
strategy in Monaco. I did want to ask
but
you super quickly: is there a track that you're particularly excited for the remaining ones we have in the season?
uh, it would have to be Suzuka,
Suzuka,
the one I'm
really?
looking forward the most. Yeah,
Okay.
Suzuka.
So that'll be at the end of January next year. Any reason you like Suzuka? Is it do you race in another series or anything like that?
It's the track I'm most comfortable with driving on.
Interesting. Okay. I've actually heard a lot of very negative opinions of Suzuka from a lot of people, so it's very surprising to hear a
I,
Suzuka enjoy it.
I think it's just this game, the Suzuka, is just really good for me because I've had two races before and they've went perfectly fine for me. And you don't need to tire safe in Suzuka. You can just go for it.
As fast as you want. I'll be quite excited to watch you go as fast as possible there in Suzuka. And this is your, I do want to double check, this is your first season here at PSF1, correct?
Yeah, it's my full season.
Yes. No, I've mentioned it a few times. I just wanted to double check, but this is MSA Samad's first season. Who's currently, I believe, second place in the drivers' championship. I think behind Mudev. How do you feel? This will be my last question here for you, Samad. Are you concerned about the drivers' championship here with Rebel and Mudev closing it in on you, or do you think you'll be able to hold it out?
At the moment, I'll just take it one race at a time and see how it goes. I don't need to worry about it now because there's still a lot of races left, but at the moment, I'll just take it one race at a time.
Wonderful, awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was your race winner here at the Chinese GP, a phenomenal and incredibly dominant drive. Samad, once again, thank you very much for joining me in Rebel here today.
No problem. See you guys hopefully next week.
Yes.
I just want to point out for next week, I have done two 100% Monacos back to back in F125.
That's insane. That's insane.
Some friends of mine with 30, I think it was like 35 level CPUs
The
with a
seventh,
full grid.
the eighth level of hell is a full 100% Monaco race.
Yeah, and they're just like dodging car bombs along the way because the AI just parks it in the middle of the straight when they're at 30. So I'm ready.
It sounds like you're ready. We'll have to see if it rains like season 12, though. That could be another huge mix-up in Monaco.
I have done a 100% rain race in Monaco as well.
You're
Not in F125, but I have done it.
you're ready though. It sounds like you're very confident for this race. I'm gonna be excited now. I'm gonna be holding you to it now. Maybe a little bit of a too early of a prediction, but where do you think you'll end in Monaco though?
In the wall.
Okay. All right, we'll have to see. I really doubt it though. But super quickly, Elliot or Carrot G, the Williams
What's up?
driver
What's
we
up?
saw earlier. Yes, welcome. You had a phenomenal race. Great fighting between you, Mac, and JM. How did you feel throughout the whole thing?
I felt okay. I didn't put much practice in this week, but the pace felt better than I thought. I did like a radical setup change right before the race and just hoped. It seemed to work pretty well for me at least, and that I didn't spin. So that was the main goal. Drive ethical racing and keep it on track.
Yes, we pride ourselves here on some clean racing at PSF1, and I think China was a phenomenal example for of that type of mindset. Is there anything you think you could have done differently, strategy wise or setup wise, that you think could have netted you a few more positions?
Um, Strategy wise, I should have made my last qualifying lap. I started 10th because I missed my last lap. I didn't make it to the line in time. Um, but I think strategy was good. Went mediums to hards. I think extended a bit on the mediums compared to other people, but my tires were doing okay. I think I also could have pushed track limits a bit more. I think I don't know. Some people had some tech for the last corner in releasing the accelerator or something to not get penalties there. But no, I think the race was pretty good overall.
Good to hear that you at least had a fun time. Is China a preferred track for you, or are you looking forward to something else this calendar season?
Uh, Definitely not. I feel like the you know long traction zones, long turns don't suit me very well. So excited for something different.
Would you say are you more of a Spa guy then? I feel like Spa is not really. No, Spa
Yeah, I
is
like
kind
the
of.
hard braking zones. Spa's okay, but this track had a mix. It was okay. I like the hairpin. I think I went well through there compared to others. But yeah, this track in general is just tricky. You're always on the limit.
Of course. Rebel, do you have any questions here for Carrot G? He did, I forgot to mention this as soon as you joined. Ladies and gentlemen, Carrot G did have the most overtakes this session with 5 overtakes. Congratulations again on that achievement. Rebel, though, do you have any questions for this gentleman?
I don't. I think you were kind of just hanging out, doing your thing. I didn't hear. I heard a little bit of the commentary talking about you in the mid, while I was also mid battle with Mudev and Prosk, so I didn't catch much of it. But your name kept popping up.
Yeah, there was a lot of battle in the first stint with Jay and Mac, and then got undercut in the pits, and the battle kind of fizzled out from there. But like Jay fell back. I think he broke his wing or something, or got a flat from pushing too hard. But um, but yeah, great battling at the start. A bit of a dull race in the second half.
Yes, well, there was a. I'm unsure if Jam was close enough for you to see it, or if you were actually behind him before it happened. But he actually lost full control of the car coming out of turn 13 onto the back straight, and that pretty much set him all the way to the back there. So that was a pretty unfortunate moment. Do you think you had a near major moment at any point in the race that could have cost you everything?
On lap 26, coming out of turn 3, I was not concentrating well enough, but I managed to save that one. But I had a big slide there. Um, I think in some scenarios I would have lost it there. So other than that, I think I was pretty stable. My setup was pretty stable. Like the change I made, so I felt pretty good about that most of the race. No
That's good.
major moments.
That's good to hear. Well, I didn't see anything too major, obviously, outside of the fighting. But Kara G, congratulations again on your most overtakes achievement here this race. I look
Thank you,
forward
thank
to
you.
seeing you the same thing in Monaco, obviously. So I
Yep,
expect.
totally. Most overtakes in Monaco. Putting Rebel in the wall, then
Yeah.
Nico in the wall, and someone else in the wall. That's how I'm gonna do it.
An overtake is an overtake. I'll turn the camera away from you when it happens. Don't
Thank you,
worry.
thank you.
But thank you very much for joining us here today, Carrot. Again, phenomenal race. I look forward to you in Monaco here.
All right, thanks, guys.
And
Carrot's over here talking about turn 20 or turn whatever in lap 26. I can't remember what the finishing order was.
and I don't. I research so much about these tracks before I do these commentating to make sure that I don't say anything silly. So that's why I know the turns. I'm surprised he does that. That's a good point.
It was like, yeah, I messed up in this one specific turn on this one specific lap. and I'm over here just holding on for dear life in Sector 2 on all laps. There is none that stand out to me as worse. They're all bad.
Didn't look it though. But all right then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me here today. We had a lot of fun here with the post race interviews here. I hope you guys look forward to it in Monaco. It's going to be a hectic race, obviously. Monaco always is. But Revel, thank you very much for being my boots on the ground here as well in this race today. I look forward to your performance in Monaco.
All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and I will see you next week.
All right. Everybody, have yourself a wonderful night, and I'll see you guys next week at 6:30, November 5th, 16th, before I say that wrong.
Better check your calendar.